I'm Sawyer. I'm 70, 10 years in the Philippines, and before you ever set foot on a Palawan dock, don't underestimate the Ferry Timetable, because the last boat leaves earlier than you think, and it will leave you standing there. Before I get into all of it, do me one quick favor and subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It honestly makes my day, and it helps an old guy on a porch keep telling you these things. Now let me put this on the body for you so you feel it the way I felt it. Picture the afternoon. You've had a good lunch in Coron, grilled fish, rice, and you took your time over a second San Miguel because the day was warm and you were in no hurry. Why would you be? You're in paradise. Around 4 o'clock, you stroll down to the pier, bags in hand, sun still up over the water, and the ticket window is shut. A little board beside it, chalk half rubbed off, the boat you needed pulled out at 2:30. And there is no next one, not at 5, not at 6, tomorrow. So you just stand there. Concrete under your shoes, the light going orange, your bags at your feet, and that slow sinking feeling crawling up from your stomach. A quiet dock at sunset with nowhere to go. That soaked in, sinking feeling is exactly what this whole video saves you from. If you've ever pictured yourself island hopping out here, this is the one small thing that keeps that dream from turning into a night on a concrete dock. So let me name the hazard plainly and then hand you what to do instead in the same breath. That's the deal today. No scaring you, just the trap and the way around it. Here's the honest part, the part most folks won't tell you. The printed schedule is not the real schedule. I know that sounds strange. You look it up online, you see a nice tidy list of departures and you think you've got it handled, but those afternoon crossings between the islands fill up and get cut faster than any timetable will ever admit. Why? 2 simple reasons. 1, when the manifest is full, when every seat is spoken for, that boat doesn't wait around for stragglers, it just goes, sometimes early. 2, the channel between these islands isn't always calm. The wind picks up in the afternoon, and if the captain doesn't like the look of it, that crossing doesn't happen at all. Nobody chalks that on the board at 9 in the morning. You find out when you get there. So the 2:30 boat you were counting on paper it's reliable. In real life, the afternoon is a gamble, and nobody tells the newcomer that. I'll tell you how I know. My first year here, I learned this the slow way. I did exactly what I just described to you. The long lunch, the easy stroll, sure as anything there'd be another boat. I spent a night in Coron I hadn't planned for, in a room I didn't want, kicking myself the whole evening. 10 years in, I can laugh about it. That night, I did not laugh. That's the truth of it, and I'd rather you hear it from me than live it yourself. Be honest with yourself for a second. Would you have strolled down at 4, sun still up? Sure, there'd be another boat. So would I have. That's the trap. It doesn't catch careless people. It catches relaxed people, happy people, people on vacation who assume a ferry runs like a city bus. It doesn't. And look, in 10 years here, I've watched newcomers walk into this exact ferry mistake over and over. Same shut window, same sinking face. It got to where I finally sat down and wrote these small routines out plainly in my ebook inside the One Way Club. It's called One Way Guide. The ferry habit, the visa steps, the little things nobody warns you about, all in one plain place. It's not a glossy travel brochure, and it won't book your boats for you. It's just the homework written down by a guy who already made the mistakes, so you don't have to. If that's useful to you, the link's in the description, or you can scan the code on screen. All right, back to the dock. Because here's what I don't want you to lose sight of. This is Palawan we're talking about. The reason you're even thinking about that ferry in the first place is the thing waiting on the other side of the crossing. Turquoise water so clear you can count the fish under the boat. Limestone cliffs rising straight up out of the sea, green on top, gray and wet at the waterline, like something out of a dream you had once. A little carinderia by the dock with fish on the grill and the smell drifting down the pier. That's the life. That's what you clicked on this for. That's what you're picturing when you think about retiring out here. And I want you to have every bit of it. The whole reason I'm sitting here telling you about a shut ticket window is so that window never shuts on you. The fix I'm going to hand you doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't make the trip harder. It makes it easier. It's the difference between a stressful scramble and a slow, beautiful island day with the sun on your face and no clock breathing down your neck. So the printed schedule lies, that much you've got now. But here's the thing that always gets me. The locals never get caught by it. Never. They read that same lying timetable and they glide right past the trap every single time. What do they know that the schedule doesn't say? There's a man who's driven me around Palawan for years, a wiry fellow, quick smile, faded Lakers cap that's seen better days, a tricycle driver, and the morning after that first time I got stranded, standing there feeling like a fool, he told me one plain thing about the boats. One sentence. I've never forgotten it. And here's the strange part. It's the exact opposite of what the timetable tells you to do. That wiry tricycle driver in the faded Lakers cap, his name is Ramon, and he's ferried me around Coron and the Far Barangays for years. He knows every pothole on that road and every mood of that channel. The morning after my first stranding, when I was still sore about the overnight I never planned, he looked at me over the handlebars and said it dead plain, "Sir Sawyer, always take the morning boat. The afternoon is for gambling." And he's right. That one sentence is the whole secret the timetable will never print for you. Say that back to yourself once the afternoon is for gambling. If you remember nothing else from an old man on a porch, remember that, because Ramon isn't guessing. He's watched 1,000 newcomers stroll down to that pier at 4 in the afternoon, bags in hand, sun still up, and find the windows shut. He's the one they waved down for a ride to a hotel they didn't want to pay for. So why does the morning win? Let me open it up for you, because once you see it, you'll never plan a crossing any other way. The early boats run, the 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. crossings leave on time, more or less day after day. The crew is fresh, the channel is calm, and the wind hasn't picked up yet. Those morning boats also run empty enough that you actually get a seat, not standing by the rail with your bags between your knees, but a real seat in the shade with room to breathe. Try that on the 230 and you're rolling the dice on both the seat and the sailing. But here's the part that matters most, and it's bigger than any single boat. Take the morning and you've got the whole day of daylight as a cushion. That's the thing I want to hand you today. I call it the daylight margin, and once you understand it, the ferry stops being scary at all. Here's what I mean. When you catch the 7 a.m., the whole day is still in front of you. If that boat is late, if the loading drags, if the crew waits an extra half hour for cargo, so what? You've got hours of light and options stacked up behind you. You can catch the 9 instead. You can grab a later hop and still land in daylight. Nothing about a delay can hurt you because the day is long and you're early into it. Now flip it. Show up for the 2:30 and everything you just had is gone. There's no boat behind that one. There's no margin left to give. If it fills, if it goes early, if the wind kicks up in the channel and they cancel, that's it. You're standing on that quiet concrete dock with the light going orange, and the next ride is tomorrow morning. Same trip, same water. The only difference is what time you left the house and whether you left yourself any room. Think about your own travel habit for a second. Are you a first boat person or a stroll down when you're ready person? Back home, it barely matters. You miss one thing, you catch the next, there's always another. Out here, that one habit is the whole difference between a relaxed island day and a night you didn't budget for. And I say that gently because I was the stroll down type myself the first year. 10 years later, I'm at the pier before the coffee's even cool. Let me be honest with you though, because I promise you the real picture and not a brochure. Even the morning boat can be delayed. The weather out here has a mind of its own. A squall can roll through the channel and the crew will wait it out and you'll sit there an extra hour with no idea when you're leaving. That happens. I've had it happen. And here's the beautiful thing. It doesn't matter. That's exactly what the margin is for. A delay on the 7 a.m. costs you a lazy hour in the sun. A delay on the 2:30 costs you a whole day and a hotel night you never wanted. The weather isn't the enemy. Showing up with no room to absorb it is. So let me paint you that lazy hour because it's not a punishment. It might be the best part of the trip. Picture the morning. The sea is still gray, flat, half asleep. You've walked down to the pier early, ticket already in your shirt pocket, and there's nothing to do but wait for the boat to load. So you sit down at the little carinderia by the dock. There's a woman running the grill, fish laid out on the rack, and the smell of it drifting over grilled fish and wood smoke and salt. You get a coffee, dark and sweet, steam curling off the cup. Maybe you get a plate and you watch, and while you sit there, the sun climbs and the water changes, gray to green, green to that turquoise you came halfway around the world to see, the limestone cliffs starting to glow behind it, the boat crew is coiling ropes and calling to each other. There's no rush anywhere in your body because you did the smart thing the night before and you've got nothing to prove and nowhere to be but here. That's the reward. That's what the daylight margin actually buys you, not just safety from the dark dock, but that unhurried morning, the coffee, the fish, the water waking up in front of you. That's Palawan the way it's supposed to feel. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, all right, Sawyer, take the morning boat. I've got it. And you'd be halfway right. Because knowing to take the morning boat is one thing. Knowing the boat is actually going to be there when you show up, that's another thing entirely. Remember, the printed schedule lies. The number on the internet and the number chalked on the board at the pier are often two different numbers. So even the smart morning traveler can walk down at 6:30 for a 7 a.m. that quietly got moved or canceled or filled up the night before. Ramon and the locals never get burned by that. And it's not luck and it's not some secret only they know. It's a small routine they run the night before every crossing. So the morning boat and the daylight margin keep you safe, but only if you actually know the boat is running before you show up. And that's the routine. 3 small things I do the night before every single crossing, and not one of them takes more than 2 minutes. Here's exactly what they are. 3 small things the night before every crossing, and not one of them takes longer than 2 minutes. That's the whole routine that turns the ferry from a trap into nothing at all. Here they are in order. First one, the evening before I travel, I walk down to the pier or the ferry office in person, not a phone call, not a website, my own 2 feet on the concrete, my own eyes on the board. And I ask the man at the window straight out, what time does the boat leave tomorrow? Here's why that matters. The number on the internet and the number chalked on the little board by the ticket window are often different. Not sometimes, often. The website says 7 in the morning, the chalk says 6:45, and the fellow at the counter tells you the 7 o'clock got moved because the tide's running funny this week. All 3 of those are real, and only one of them is going to get you on a boat. So you confirm the night before with your own eyes. That's step 1, and it's the one nobody bothers with. Second thing, while I'm standing right there, I buy the ticket that evening, not in the morning. This is the quiet one that saves you. Remember, the afternoon boats fill up and get cut when the manifest's full, but even a morning boat can sell out its seats to a tour group that booked ahead. If you show up at 6:45 with your bags, feeling good, and the man says, sorry, sir, we're full well, now you're stuck, and you did everything right except the one part that mattered. A paper ticket in your shirt pocket the night before means a full manifest can never strand you. You already have your seat. It's yours. Sleep easy. And the third thing, this one's a decision more than a task. I set my whole day to catch the first boat, not the last. The first boat, the 7 a.m., the 6:45, whatever the earliest honest crossing is, I build my morning around it. Because if something goes sideways, a flat tire on the tricycle, a slow breakfast, a boat that leaves 10 minutes early, the first boat, leaves me the whole rest of the day as a cushion. There's always another one behind it. But if I aim for the last boat and miss it, there is no cushion. There's just a quiet dock and the light going orange. I would rather sit on the far island for an hour in the sun, coffee in hand, watching the water, than gamble the only ride I've got. Catch the first boat, not the last. Every time. So that's it. That's the whole habit. Take the morning boat, confirm it the night before with your own eyes, buy your ticket that evening before you sleep. 3 small things, a day early, and none of them longer than the time it takes to tie your shoes. 2 minutes, a day early, that's the entire fix. Read it back to yourself and you already know how to island hop Palawan without ever getting stranded. It really is that simple. It costs nothing. It's just a little bit of asking done the evening before instead of the morning of. Now, let me give you a few honest numbers so you can actually plan this and not just nod along. The fast ferry between the main hops, say from Coron across to the next island, runs somewhere around 1,800 pesos. That's roughly $35. And I'll be straight with you, it varies. It changes with the boat, it changes with the season, it changes with the fuel, so don't quote me to the peso. Some days it's a touch less, some days a bit more. But $35 gets you across, and that's money well spent for a morning on turquoise water. Then there's the waiting. And here's where the morning boat gives you a little gift. You get down to the pier early. The 7 o'clock isn't quite ready. So you sit at the little carinderia by the dock and you order coffee and a proper breakfast. Grilled fish if it's early enough, rice, an egg, the works. That runs you maybe 150 pesos, under $3. I'll tell you honestly, that's cheaper than the tip I used to leave on a diner table back home. And this comes with the sea breeze and the smell of fish on the grill for free. Now the number that stings, the whole habit is built to save you from a wasted hotel night because you missed the only boat and there's nothing until tomorrow, call it 1,200 pesos you never needed to spend. 1,200 pesos for a room you're only in because you didn't ask a simple question the night before. That's the price of the afternoon gamble. That's what those 2 minutes are protecting. And think about what you're really buying with those 2 minutes. You remember that picture from the start, you standing on a quiet concrete dock, bags at your feet, the sun going down, orange over the water, and the ticket window shut, and no next boat until tomorrow. That sinking, soaked in feeling, that's the thing I most wanted to hand you a way out of. Well, here's the good news. With this little habit, that feeling is simply something you'll never have, not once. You'll never be that person on the dark dock because you'll already know your boat is running, you'll already have your ticket, and you'll already be on the early crossing with the whole day of daylight stretched out in front of you. That daylight margin, that really is the whole game. Get it, and everything else takes care of itself. And then Palawan gets to be what it's actually supposed to be. The turquoise water, so clear you can see the bottom, those limestone cliffs rising straight up out of the sea like something out of a dream. The little carinderia by the dock with grilled fish and a cold drink and a fellow waving you over. Island hopping the way it was meant to be, slow, easy, beautiful. Not a scramble, a joy. So run your own numbers. $35 for the crossing, $3 for the breakfast while you wait, and $0 for the hotel you now never book because you're never stranded. That's the whole trip laid out plain, and it's within reach. It's within your reach. The ferry timetable in Palawan will not get you. Not if you take the morning boat. Not if you confirm it the night before with your own eyes. Not if you buy your ticket that evening instead of hoping in the morning. Do those 3 small things, and the whole thing that scares newcomers just quietly stops being a problem. It becomes a non-event. A boat you get on with a coffee in your hand and a whole beautiful day ahead of you. That's 10 years talking. That's the fix handed to you clean. And I promise you, island hopping Palawan stays exactly the relaxed, gorgeous thing you've been dreaming about as long as you take the morning boat, confirm the night before, and buy early. It really is that doable. Go run your numbers. I think you'll like what you find.